What's up, LC heads? So we have Sera and Primm in the same damn party. Why? Well, so we can talk about both of them, right? Because for a lot of people, they're going to be fighting for the same damn spot. Now, first of all, if you do have both of them together on the same account, kudos to you. You can finally run Primm for what she wants to be ran as, and that is some kind of crazy little elf monk. Primm just wants to punch everybody in the face, and that always just seems to get in the damn way. She wants to be like a secondary side piece support, I guess, though at least the way that I'm running her. So yeah, I mean, her kit did get a bunch of damage caps added to her ability kit. She wants to use her kit. She wants to do some damage with those punches and kicks, but she also has things she can cast for support. Well, Mana Magic Blessing would be one of them. I mean, that is a pretty awesome freaking custom buff that only a Primm can give out, right? So yeah, I don't think she's completely out. Alright, let's start this fight and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. We can actually go through each of these characters, right? Oh, yeah, that's right. The last vid I made, I did have an oopsie. I was talking about Angela's Acid Storm and, Spike Freeze. Obviously, I don't think it's worth it to bring Acid Storm. It's cost at 52 MP to cast instead of the 47. And when you're fighting a boss, I think she sacrifices 3% more MP. So you're going to sacrifice a little bit more from 52. It's going to add up a little bit. The damage, though, I think it was kind of similar. In the other video, I thought Spike Freeze did more. Spike Freeze does say powerful wide area ice attack, and Acid Storm just says ice attack against all enemies. So it didn't have that powerful word in there. I don't know if their damages are even, but I was just trying to compare her spells to some of the older spells that are in the game, and obviously I'm going to have to use mana spells because that's what she's going to get the boost for against bosses. That is only applicable with mana magic. So yeah, guys, anyway, but we are here to look at these girls. So first of all, let's see. Here's something important Primm has. Very bottom, we talked about that. Mana magic, it's 50 MP. The physical attack power plus 20% to a single ally. That's not really going to matter that much here, but the point is, other people can use that. This is something that's custom. Not everybody's going to be able to throw a mana magic buff, right? So she's got that. Moon Saber you can teach to, whoever you want, which is nifty, right? And then we have her Saber abilities. These you cannot teach to whoever you want, and only Primm can give them out. Yeah, this does not actually change your attack to this attribute. It adds an extra hit, right? Ice attribute extra attack to a single ally's regular attacks. Now, that might not sound all that amazing, but let me just remind you, these extra attacks from your basic attack, like this can help Shinobi proc an item steal, okay? This can also help Lilibet with her basic attack spam, because now anybody or anything that is strengthening your basic attack or adding an extra hit in there is going to greatly increase the effectiveness of Lilibet's machine gun S1 and basic attack spam. So something to remember, especially if you got Lilibet, running around and you like that spam, try throwing a saber on it, right? And because you can control which element the saber is, you're always going to be able to pick one out that the enemy's probably weak to, right? So that's pretty cool. Got to give the sabers the credit that they deserve. They are a little bit more nifty than people give them credit for typically, and people, I think they just forget to apply them. Like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It can make a difference. This girl also comes with Honey Elixir, right? So we're looking at all her pros as far as being like a support goes, okay? Now, obviously, all this other stuff, like Blazer and Drain, I think I put these on her All right. So there's that. That's what she brings that only she can bring. The thing is, this girl over here, I don't know what I just cast on her, but this girl over here, I mean, she's going to have better support abilities. We got High Vitality Phaser, which is custom to her. Okay. Her buffs aren't going to last as long as Primm's. I should also mention that is kind of a pretty huge advantage. Primm has more longevity in her buffs built in. It's actually one of her passive traits, I believe. So anything that Primm casts is going to last longer. Instead of a minute, it's going to be up for a minute and a half or something like that. It also depends on the items you have on them. So that is kind of a big advantage, especially when you're putting up a buff like Name Giving, which is giving 25% to all your stats. You're paying for that with hit points, because your caster has to sacrifice some hit points in order to give off Name Giving, but you're getting a huge buff from it. So if you're going to go through the process of hurting yourself and then trying to heal your healer up to give out Name Giving, you would want it to last an extra 30 seconds or whatever if you can. So that is kind of a pretty nice advantage for Primm to have, right? But remember, as soon as we get into her actual skill kit, her ability kit, her S1, 2, and 3, she doesn't want to be a support, right? She's always going to try to do this crap where she runs off and punches somebody, and then, there we go. We managed to get one off, and look how quick this girl is just going to heal her up. Yeah. So, I mean, you can get her to cast when she's done with her attack animation, but she's going over there to attack him now, right? If I tell her to weaken him, no, she's not going to do it. I have to double tap it when she stops running, okay? If I try to tell this girl to do anything while she's running, it's not going to get done. She's going to go punch him in the face first, and then she'll throw a weaken on him. So, it's tough, because on one hand, her buffs are going to last longer, and that can be super useful. On the other hand, this girl right here is stationary. She's not always trying to run and punch people in the face. So she can throw buffs off like it ain't no thing, and you don't have to stop her. You don't have to mess with that mechanic. That makes a huge difference. You also don't have to worry about your healer and support getting underfoot and going into bad places where they're not supposed to be, damn it. Primm's always trying to run into danger, so there's that to factor into. Yeah, at the same time, Primm can probably add a little bit more actual damage to your party on her own from producing her own damage than this girl can. So, I don't know, that's, like I said, if you have both of them, you have the perfect setup to run Primm as an actual monk and let Primm, power up her kit, and then just maybe use Primm to drop like one or two of these things, maybe use her to throw Name Giving. So I have her still set up for the suicide build so she can be sacrificed. I use Name Giving to weaken her up, and then hopefully the dragon kills her off, right? Did that buff go off? Yeah, she's at half health. So look, the dragon kills her off, and now he should have some hella debuffs on him. Besides Song of Destruction, all attribute resistance, decrease resistance for all attributes, increased damage. Any damage taken is increased. Yeah, that is an awesome debuff to go ahead and throw on a damn boss. Any damage taken is increased. And that is all coming from me sacrificing Primm, right? Because I have an armor on her that is going to give this debuff out to whatever kills Primm. And since Primm is so squishy, it just works out perfect. But I am giving up dual wielding with Primm. So this is weakening her kit substantially as far as her S1 to S3, doing some damage, right? But that's because she's pretty much just set up here to run support and bleed MP all over the place. That's the other thing. It's hard to compare them with MP. Obviously, it all depends on what you got on them, but I know Primm bleeds MP. This girl, I don't know. Maybe she bleeds MP too. So that's about it though. That's about the best that we're gonna get out of Primm. Look at that. This girl just used her S3 to heal everybody. I didn't even have to cast a spell there. It didn't eat up any of my MP. So yeah, as far as the MP goes, this other girl's going to be able to support with her kit without actually using a lot of MP to constantly heal everybody. So yeah, Primm's probably going to run out of MP faster. That's what I'm going to say about that. And this girl has high resurrection. I don't think Primm has the ability to bring people back to life, but it doesn't matter because she'd be the first one to die anyway, which is why I have her set up with that armor. Alright. This girl, high resurrection. We can bring Primm back. We can revive her. Oh, that's right. I put name giving on both of them just because I was messing around with it. Alright. So, like, those are the things Primm's going to be able to bring to the table. Oh no. Oh no, rah-rah. But here's one of the things that this girl's going to be able to bring to the table. Yeah, you guys like how I timed that when we transition? This girl, like I said, as far as, Primm's concerned, this girl comes with like 3 lives out of the box. Primm's not coming back on her own. She died, okay? So unless you put items on Primm that they're going to bring her back, yeah. What brought Angela back right now is the sorcerer ring that I have on her. That's not what it's called, but it's like a high star item that, gives her revive. So yeah, that's it though. Other than Primm's S4, which I don't even think I can rate that as a positive here. I really thought Primm's S4 should have been changed when they upgraded her. I thought they should have added something to it because it's just a shield. Now, maybe it can be used to cheese things that I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head. If anybody has something in particular where Primm's S4 just works out so well for it, please leave me a comment and let me know. Maybe I'm just not thinking about it. But Primm's S4 is a shield that you can put up. It doesn't do anything else, I don't think. Yeah, compare that to what this girl's got going on here. Her S4 is going to revive everybody. Yeah, this girl's S4 is going to revive everybody and add damage cap and add damage boost to everybody. It's not even really comparable, I don't think, as far as support goes. So this girl, her kit, Sera's kit, is going to, crap all over Primm's as far as support and what we're talking about here, because obviously Primm, she doesn't want to be full support. She wants to punch people in the face, right? So yeah, this girl's gonna be able to heal and buff damage for everybody with her S2, and then her S3 heals. Her S4 brings people back to life. Does a little bit of damage. I was actually kind of surprised to see this girl's S4 do any damage at all, but I guess there is some holy damage going off in the background there. Here we go. We drop this and people come back to life. That and this girl greatly increases everybody's survivability with her, what is this thing called? High Vitality Phaser. I think she's the only one throwing High Vitality Phaser right now. It's going to give everybody, 2,000 more to their hit point cap, and it's going to heal them a little bit in the process. See, Angela's hit points just went up from 8,000 to 10. Primm's at 9,000 hit points. That's because of that buff. So she also has like grand protection. Primm is not rocking any grand anything. Like, she has protection. I put protection on her, I think, because it only cost a couple. Let's see, does she have protection to give? No, I just put some breaks on her instead. So instead of, buffing somebody with protection, she would just break the enemy with Blazer instead, I guess was the idea at the time. Regardless, though, she's not dropping, like, AoE grand protection. Magic Castle you have to give to Primm. I think this girl gets it for free. Don't quote me on that yet, though. It's hard to remember what they get and what you've added to them, right? And then as far as, healing with spells, they both have God Heal. But this girl has the High Resurrection, Starlight Heal. greatly restores HP for everybody. So she's better at AoE healing. She's going to be better at healing. And she's going to have a little bit more MP to do it with. She's not going to be as hungry for MP, I don't think, as Primm is, and it's not going to be as hard to get some MP back to her. But I guess that all depends on what you have them equipped with. I just haven't seen this girl be as MP hungry as Primm is, and I've gotten to run Primm a lot more. So, I mean, if you look at it that way, a lot of people are really going to prefer this girl just because of the damage cap increase, because you're going to be able to also renew that every time you drop this S4. So that is also super useful. Like, Primm doesn't really have anything to contribute here now, right? Like, she's done her thing. What can she do? Maybe name giving. Is name giving still up? That'll help somebody else survive. She'd be using some mana magic, maybe throwing up a wall or something like that. But I think typically this is the girl you'd go to. She'd have you covered. I don't have the staff on her. I wish I could kind of compare their times for how long buffs stay up. I know Primm's is longer. So that is what it is. Here's her little S1 doing 300 damage apiece. Alright. So this is going to, like I said, give me a chance to actually build Primm, I guess, the way she wants to be built. And I'll try running them together. But that would make me take that armor off of Primm. I don't know. I'll have to see. Regardless, I don't think Primm is out of the game by any means. Honestly, I think if you have Primm and you have some of the stuff to put on her, like name giving, you could just get a lot out of her just out of something simple like that, and some of the breaks and buffs that we have. This girl's she's just more concrete in that role, and it's gonna be easier with her. I guess the biggest thing for me is if I'm running one or the other in the party, I feel like I can leave Sera there, and she'll hold on to a good amount of MP, and she will just put up buffs, and she will heal from her kit. And I feel like Primm, you can't leave Primm alone. She runs into danger, gets her ass beat, gets killed before you want her to, and if not, she will sit there and waste all of her MP. So it is what it is. This girl's going to be the first choice, but obviously I still like Primm for like a suicide run type thing. I think they're both going to have their place. So that's what I think about that. I still think Primm is an awesome choice. And honestly, you don't really need this girl that bad if you have a Primm or if you have a dedicated Theria. But let's not get it twisted. This girl is nice to have for the damage cap boost and for all that stuff. So, it is what it is. I'm not even going to bring Ruto into this conversation because I don't feel like Ruto's actually fighting for this girl's spot and for Primm's spot. In my opinion, Ruto's a paladin. He actually takes away from AoE damage, and that in itself is so useful and kind of its own thing. And the fact that Ruto's gonna be your rock. He's not going to die. He's gonna survive whatever, and then he can bring some people back, and he can heal adequately enough. He also actively tanks and pulls aggro on himself, and he, in the right situation, he can pull a whole map full of monsters to him, and that frees up, some time for the rest of your party to make some kind of power play and get some damage out there without getting interrupted. So, yeah, I don't think Ruto's really fighting for this spot particularly, this totally support spot. Obviously, this girl is, Theria is, okay? Primm is when you build her like a healer, especially how I have, by, not using dual wield on her. But it is important to note that Primm can just go do another job, right? Primm doesn't have to be stuck in this role, and she can dual wield like she wants to, and she can apply all those little nifty damage cap boosts that she got to her S1, S2, and S3, and she can still throw that shield out there. And remember, those saber abilities are fairly useful, and so is that mana buff, and so is honey elixir, you know. So it is what it is. I don't think one is killing the other. If anybody was worried about that, Primm still has a spot. That's just IMO though. I mean, you can disagree with me if you want, but I think I just went through it pretty good. Just kind of comparing them against each other and what they're going to bring to the table. If I missed anything, please leave me a comment, let me know, and have a good night. Later, everybody.